Okay, right. Good evening, guys. Can you all let me know if you all can hear me and see a screen? Yes, can see a screen. Right. Okay. So we are done with unit number 1, and today we'll start with unit number 2. Okay. So since unit number 2 and 3 are highly connected to each other, what I will do is we will do 2 and 3 together, guys. Right. So because it's very connected, you have demand supply, and the same thing has been extended in unit number 3, where they talk about taxes, subsidies, and all of that. So we'll do both the units together so that we can save some time also, and we can get going. So before we start, I'll give you all a small introduction about the units, how many types of questions you all get, and then in terms of marks, how many marks you all get, and also thank you for all the feedback that you all have given as well. I did go through, I'll share some of the feedback, and I'll see what we can do to improve. Okay, so let me first start with okay, since people are still joining. Okay, then let me start with the feedback area. Okay, so give me a second. Okay, so in terms of first of all, thank you for taking some time and to fill the form. Okay, so in terms of feedback, there were a few valuable ones. So once again, thank you for putting out those. I'll just try to address certain issues and certain things that we can do better. Okay, so in terms of answers on what can be done to improve the class, there were certain feedback on to explain certain things a little bit more in detail. So whenever I feel that there are certain topics that needs to be explained in detail, yes, from unit 2 and 3 onwards, I'll take some time and explain that in detail. So there was a feedback on that. Then there was some feedback on to have 2 classes per week, right? So I also feel that in order to it will be nice to finish the syllabus as soon as possible. But given that I have a very tight schedule, I'll try my level best. Given that in April you all have some holidays, if we can do a few extra classes, or else what I will do is, for us to go a little faster, certain years, certain papers, I will self-record it, right? I will do the class alone and I will record it and I will upload it on YouTube, because my plan is to finish this whole program by around 6 months. Now we took 1 month just for unit number 1. So we need to, pick up a little pace and do. So I think that is why the student would have suggested to have 2 classes a week. I'll see based on how my schedule goes. I'm not very sure, because my schedule is also very packed. I work 9 to 5 and then I do all my classes also. If we are not able to, maybe increase our speed and have 2 classes a week, will you all be okay with that? Certain papers, maybe, I will self-record it by myself, explaining it in detail, and I'll upload it on YouTube. Now, for example, let's say if we have 2011 to 2015, 2011 and 12, I'll self-record it, upload it on YouTube. In the live class, we'll do 2013 onwards, kind of like that. What do you all think about something like that? Is that okay? So that we can save some time, and because I don't want to, now just to save time, I don't want to rush also, because then you all will not understand. Yeah, so we'll try to see what we can do. Okay, so that was on that feedback. Then there was certain other feedback on, okay, there were a few students who wanted the part 2 questions to be marked. I remember at the very beginning when I said when I'm starting this class, I told you I will create a platform for it to be marked, but then after that I didn't take much effort to do that, because this is how it will work, guys. Okay, so I don't personally have the time to mark each and everyone's answers. Now let's say 50 people send answers every week, it will at least take me around 20-30 minutes to mark one person's answer. So that means if around 50 people send answers, I'm looking at around 25 hours of just marking papers. So I personally don't have the time to sit and mark each paper. But what I will do is, I have my team, right? I have my team who helps me make questions, who helps me mark a few papers, right? All the all of my past students who have become district first and really good island ranks. Along with them is what I do the marking with. So usually now, since this is a free class, guys, when I get work from them, I pay them. So maybe what we can do is, if you really want your paper 2 answers marked, right, I can connect you all with one of my those past students, and we have a team. Okay, you all can submit your answers, they will mark and give, but there will be a small fee that you will have to pay if that is the case, because that will directly go as salaries for those people. So maybe let's say in terms of, let's say, a fee, if I'm saying maybe around, let's say, 500 a month, maybe, right? I don't know, I'm just saying, right? So maybe something like that. That's an optional thing if you all want your paper 2 answers to be marked. So if anyone is there like that, if you all want your paper 2, because I can't do it for free, guys, because I'm not the one marking, and I don't feel it's right for me to ask my other students to mark it for free and give. So whatever that you all will pay will directly go to them. So if you all are okay with something like that, you can drop me a text. I will try and arrange that with you, and I'll connect you with that person. So you can directly will have a WhatsApp group. So I can send your answers into that. They will mark it. Maybe within 1 or 2 weeks, they will give you the feedback and also this thing. So we will have a discussion before marking with the team. I discuss with them, and then they will mark it according to what I say, and I will have a final look of it as well, and you all will get some feedback. So we can do that if you all want your answers to be marked. Okay, so hope that is understandable, because I personally don't have the time to mark each and every paper. Okay, and then in terms of what were the other things that you all had? The explanation part was there. In terms of things that I should keep doing, is that's okay. And then the issue on why do most people not attend the live class? That again is not a big concern for me, because at the end of the day, I'm not gaining anything out of this class. I'm purely doing it free, that whoever who wants to can come and can learn. So it's up to y'all whether y'all make the maximum use of it or not. I will not come behind you and ask you why didn't you come, why didn't you come. That's not really my concern. The platform is made, and I do upload the videos on YouTube also. I know that is another reason that people don't attend the live class. Okay, but I still want to put it because I'm not losing anything, right? At the end of the day, what I want you all is for you all to somehow learn it, whether you all come to the live class or the watch the YouTube video. But I will recommend the live class, because only then you all will stay on track. Only then you all will do the certain questions and come to class. You all will discuss, you all will clarify your doubts. Because if you start watching the YouTube video, what's going to happen is everything is going to pile up. Then you don't have any live class, you don't have any deadlines. You will think, right, let's say after around 2-3 months, let me watch all the recordings. Then when you start watching everything in a rush, it's not going to work. That's why the live class is important, where you have certain deadlines every week to do certain amount of questions and come, so that we discuss. You can also clarify your doubts then and there and go on. Okay. And yes, there was one more thing on part 2 answers. There were a few people who wanted me to dictate answers. Guys, that I think I will not be doing, because number one, you have detailed answers in your past paper book. So that alone is a detailed answer, and me just dictating an answer, I feel, is a waste of time. So remember, you all are supposed to do the question and come. So you all are supposed to write an answer and come, not leave it blank and come and expect to write when I am explaining. So you write an answer and come, and when I explain, what you can do is, make the corrections at the important points. You can do that. So I will not be dictating, because I feel it's a waste of time. And if I start dictating answers one by one, that's just going to take too much of time, right? Because otherwise we'll never be able to finish. So those are the important feedback that I got, right? If there is anything else, I'll give you all maybe a minute or two to send it on the chat box. So some of those feedback I will definitely incorporate into unit number 2 and 3, especially to explain certain areas more, and how to increase the speed a little in terms of trying to covering it as soon as possible. So thank you for that. Anything else, guys? You all were not able to fill the form, but now you have something in mind. So why shall we do something like this? That kind of a suggestion or anything that you all have? Anyone? Anything? Okay. So I'll talk about unit number 2 and 3 now. In the meantime, if you all have something, you all can send it on the chat box to me. Okay. So we're now starting from today onwards. We're going to work on unit number 2 and 3. So unit number 2 is on market forces, that is demand, supply, elasticity, and market equilibrium. And unit number 3 is on how the government intervenes into this market. So by imposing taxes, by providing subsidies, imposing maximum and minimum prices, we'll talk about all of that. So I'm doing both the units together because both of it is highly connected. So in terms of the number of questions that you get from unit number 2 and 3, I'll just show you the latest papers. Okay, let's have a look. From 2019 onwards, the syllabus changed. So not that the content changed, just the fact that earlier unit number 2 and 3 was one unit. Even when I was doing A levels, unit number 2 and 3 was one unit. And what happened is from 2019 onwards, they split it into two. So they kept the demand supply equilibrium in one, and they removed the government part into another one. That's why in previous papers, if you all realize, essay question, sometimes there is only one essay question from both the units because it was only one unit. But now, given that they have combined, separated the unit, you get two questions from both the units. Okay. So if you look at the number of MCQs that you usually get from this unit, we'll just look at the 2020 paper. See, starting from question number 5 onwards until question number 14. So you're looking at around 9 to 10 MCQs. Then if you take, let's say, the 2021 paper, starting from question number 5 all the way until question number 14 again. So again, 9 to 10 MCQs. 2022, the latest paper that we have, starting from question number 5, again, all the way until question number 14. So if you see the latest papers, there is how many questions? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you have 10 MCQs from unit number 2 and 3. So 10 MCQs, guys, how many marks do you all get? For all those who are sleeping, can you send something on the chat box? 10 MCQs is how many marks from your 200 mark paper? How many marks is 10 MCQs? 10 MCQs is worth 20 marks. Remember, you get 50 MCQs for a 100 mark paper. So 10 MCQs is 20 marks. And then you get 2 essay questions. Okay, you get 2 essay questions. 2 essay questions, 1 essay question is for 20 marks. 2 essay questions is a 40 marks. So in total, from unit number 2 and 3 alone, you're getting 60 marks. So how much is your paper out of? Your paper is out of 200. From 200, you can get 60 marks alone from unit number 2 and 3. And then if you recap a little, go back to unit number 1. From unit 1, according to the latest papers, you can get around 28 marks. Okay, there is around 4 MCQs and 1 essay question. So 28 marks, just imagine unit number 1, 2, 3 alone in your syllabus out of 12 units. The first 3 units alone gives you 88 marks. So how much do you need to pass the exam? You need 80 out of 200. So even with unit number 1, 2, and 3, you can still pass the exam and the other MCQs. Even if you put a kana shot, 1 or 2 might, the other, how many MCQs are there? There are 10 MCQs here, 14 MCQs here. So there are 35 MCQs apart from unit number 1, 2, and 3. From the 35, maybe even if you put a kana shot, you have a 25% chance of getting it right. So from the 35, maybe you can get around 9 MCQs right? 25%. So that alone will definitely help you pass the exam. So just think, right? If you're failing the exam, how bad your situation is. Because a student can even pass this exam, the A-level econ paper, by studying just unit 1, 2, and 3. I don't think it's there for any other subject. So with just 1, 2, and 3, you can pass the exam. So if anyone comes and says, econ was hard and the fellow failed the exam, you should consider it's not an issue with the paper. The issue was with that person, whoever who did that subject. So they were not even able to master unit 1, 2, and 3. You have 2.5 years that you learn the entire syllabus. So for 2.5 years, if you still can't cover up unit 1, 2, and 3, forget about all the other units, guys. Forget about unit 4 until unit number 12. So if a student can't cover unit 1, 2, and 3 within 2.5 years, what's the point, right? So make sure that is not your plight in a few more months, right? So I don't want any of you all failing. And this class is not there just to make you pass. What we are targeting is to get an A or even more than an A, right? We'll target to get into that island ranks because I feel even an A is too easy for econ, right? It's just 75 out of 100. And I think most of you all by now are at, kind of at that level also. So A is just 150 out of 200. So we'll target maybe 180 or 190 out of 200. That's what we are going to do. And especially, I will be starting something called a fast track class also from May onwards. The whole focus will be on that. That's a separate thing. From May onwards, we'll be doing a fast track program where every week we will cover one unit. We will cover the most difficult questions and the most probable questions of that. So that in around 5-6 months, you all are the experts in everything. Will be doing the toughest of mock exam papers. So after that, your A-level paper should ideally be nothing, right? So that will start in May. That's a different story. So for now, remember, try your level best to master unit number 1, 2, and 3. If you can master unit number 1, 2, and 3, you can definitely pass the exam. After that, we'll focus on getting to the 150 level, and maybe once we get there, the 180 or the 190 mark, or even if possible, the 200. Okay. So that is about the unit and the types of questions that you have. And unit number 2 and 3 is very easy, guys. I'll tell you, unit number 2 is the easiest unit that you have in your syllabus. It's even more easier than unit number 1. So please don't miss out on it. If you miss out on it, I feel it's a very base. And once you are expert in unit number 2, you can easily figure out unit number 3 because both of it is highly connected. And these questions have sums. So if it has sums, the good thing is they can't cut marks. If you can get the sum correct, you will get the full mark. But in theory questions, no matter how much you write, sometimes the examiner can cut marks. Maybe your English is not correct. Maybe you have, wrote something not very clear. But in a sum, if you have put the method, if you have got your final answer, there is no way they can cut marks. So for anyone targeting island ranks and trying to get, the highest possible marks, always go with the number question, the sums, because that way they can't cut marks. That's a little bit about unit number 2 and 3. So in the meantime, guys, to make the best use of it, make sure that you all do the questions beforehand and come, because I will not be giving you all time to do the questions. And trust me, guys, typing each of these questions into a one PDF is also not an easy thing, right? For that also, I have now hired some person and I pay him also monthly. Even though this class is free, there is expense on my end. So make sure that you get the best use of it. I have typed all the papers. Now I know some other teachers are stealing my papers also because it's all typed. It's just a matter of copying and pasting from the PDF. That never mind, I can't stop that. So on your end, make sure that you do all the questions, get a printout of this PDF. I understand it has around 40 odd pages, right? Don't expect me to print and send it to you. Okay. So you get a printout from your end. MCQs, you can do it in the paper itself. Paste sticky notes, write the notes in the paper itself, whatever that is, whatever I explain, have a few A4 sheets next to you when you come to the class, jot some extra points. And then again, for the essay questions, like I always said, have full scaps, write answers. And at the end, you'll have all your answers together. You'll have around 500 odd pages once this program finishes. That alone gives you a lot of confidence. So anyone, guys, at least by now you all finished unit number 1, everything done, all MCQs. I asked this last time also, there was a good amount. Finished all unit number 1, all the MCQs 11 to 2022. Essay questions also 2011 to 2022, done and dusted. Yes. Others, what happened? Okay, at least if you have not done that, leave unit number 1 for now. Catch that on the meantime, because unit number 1 and 2 is not connected to each other. So you do unit number 1 a little bit here and there, but at least from today onwards, start unit number 2 and 3. You all know we will take around 3 to 4 classes, maybe a little bit more, because there are 2 units here. So somehow with me itself have the deadlines. Before the class, I tell you all know what questions to do and come. So make sure you all do those and come. And then by the end of it, you all itself will feel a lot confident. For those who completed unit number 1, I'm pretty sure you all feel a lot confident on your answer writing now, and you all see that's the same question is coming over and over again. Your answer writing flow has now improved because you have written the same question again and again and again. Yes, have you all realized that you're now more confident, your answers are now coming on a flow, same thing is now coming, now you know what to write, right? So that has to happen, guys. I can't come next to you, hold your hand and write answers for you. So make sure that you all do that on your end. Okay, so that is a bit on unit number this. Okay, there was a message to explain certain things in detail. Yes, guys. So initially for unit number 2, the initial parts, initial few classes, that's why it's important, because I'll be teaching the concepts, some concepts very much in new. Okay, so make sure that you all attend the very few first classes, because towards the end, if you have all discussed that, I will say that we all discussed that and I will move on. Okay, so that is basically it. Okay, and then there were a few questions on the theory class and the revision class. Once again, guys, those theory and revision are paid. So this month, our focus is to do from unit number 8 to unit number 12. We are doing a lot of classes. Given that, guys, did you all get holidays? Yes, school holidays. When are you all getting? Theory people, revision people? 4th, tomorrow? Okay. So 5th, we have an extra class in the morning. I'm repeating, 8 to 12 in the morning. So likewise, I will schedule around 4 or 5 extra classes that we will somehow finish the syllabus this month. Then we can start the fast track next month. Okay, right. Any other questions before we start with the question? Anything that you all want to clarify? Fine. Okay. So then I'll end this recording and I'll start a new one. Don't skip along this thing. Right.